In August of last year, the IUCN released a new report on the status of sharks, and everybody seemed to be talking about it. So I wanted to put my oar in as well. But since the average watch time of my last video was only about 30 seconds, here a very quick summary in under half a minute for the busy people. Sharks, rays and chimaeras are endangered. And yes, this is already pretty much the message of this video. But sharks have been threatened for quite some time now. So what's new? It's basically a new update, sort of. A reassessment to be precise. The latest status report for the whole class has been made in 2014, which is quite a few years of killing and decimating populations all over the world. Back then, in 2014 that is, only about 24% of species in the class were categorized as threatened. And yes, that has increased to about 32%. So 8% more species are categorized as threatened now. About half of all assessed species were data deficient in 2014. Now what that means is that at the time of assessment, these data deficient species lacked information about population size, population structure, abundance, recovery rates and similar stuff. But it also means that losses stay rather unnoticed. Now, however, it's a bit clearer and only like 150 are data deficient. If you assume that just as many species are threatened in the data deficient ones as in the ones that are described, you get an overall proportion of 37% of threatened sharks, rays and chimaeras. And maybe that doesn't sound like a lot, but that is 1/3 of 1,200 species. And that's quite a bunch. 391 actually. All of them affected by overfishing and by habitat loss, and by habitat degradation, and by climate change, and by pollution. All of it anthropogenic, human-made, but every single one by overfishing. Every single one. And I'm citing the paper, while at the same time propagating my own opinion, when I say immediate action is essential. So yes, there's more species of threatened sharks, rays and chimaeras now. And they are the second most threatened class of vertebrates in the world. But the actual conclusion to jump to from this paper is that now the conservation effort has to be even bigger, 8 years after the first assessment that already was a call for action. And yet populations plummeted even more during that time. Political as well as individual action is desperately needed. Another paper that came out last year calculated the fishing pressure on sharks. And their conclusion was that since 1970, the global abundance of oceanic sharks and rays decreased by 71%, which was already known as well, but there's so much actual evidence now. We need to act. So how to help sharks? Obviously, don't eat shark. Try to avoid any products that could contain anything shark derived and do your own research. Read up on the matter and talk about it with as many people as you can. Spread awareness, amplify conservationists' voices. Be active whenever you can, maybe even donate. But most importantly, be loud, be active, vote and sign initiatives. Lawmakers need to feel the pressure, and this pressure has to get bigger than their wallets got from the shark trade.